Have you ever wondered what goes through the minds of the most wanted gang members when they receive a life sentence? Today we're taking a look at the reactions of 5 of the most hunted gang members who have been given a life sentence. These stories will shock and surprise you as we delve into the brutal nature of gang activity and the consequences of their actions. From Christopher Dean, who was brutally attacked and left for dead, to the Carpio brothers, who were found guilty of the fatal stabbing of an 18-year-old student, you won't want to miss these intense reactions to a life sentence. So, let's get started. While countless stories instill in the average person a sense of the brutal nature of gang members, a select few make great efforts to demonstrate the validity of such notions. Number 5. Christopher Dean. Christopher Dean was savagely attacked by gang members for over an hour, enduring beatings with a 2x4 and a crowbar, followed by sodomy with a handle-like object. He was then shot twice in the back of the head and left in a car trunk at an Atlanta MARTA station, where his body laid for 30 days. This brutal murder was committed by 23-year-old Xavier Gibson and 30-year-old Orlando Gibson, who was invited to the Atlanta home of Christopher Lockett. Despite having 2 young children, Dean was beaten so severely that his skull was indented. Due to the heinous nature of the crime, the prosecution is recommending a 20-year sentence for criminal gang activity, as well as a life sentence without the possibility of parole for malicious murder. Dean anticipated another drug deal with Lockett, but Lockett had discovered Dean's previous role as a police witness in California. Lockett and other members of the gangster disciplines plotted to torture and kill Dean to set an example for other gang members that worked with police would not be tolerated. Prosecutors described the slaying as the most horrific attack in recent county history, and after 2 years, a jury found Lockett and 4 other defendants guilty of felony slaying participation in criminal street gang activity and other related felonies. The judge sentenced them all to life in prison, acknowledging the tragic loss for Dean's family. This completes the court sentencing in the case. Lockett received a life sentence with no chance of release, while Clark got 2 back-to-back life sentences and 5 additional years. Green was given a life sentence and 3 more years behind bars. Brooks and Gibson were both sentenced to life in prison. Number 4. Abel Gallegos. Abel Gallegos has been sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, as well as an additional 163 years for his involvement in the abduction and murder of Simon Duran, a 28-year-old victim. Along with 2 others, Alonso Quintana and Rene Francisco Gonzalez, Gallegos was found guilty of various charges in connection with the retaliatory act. Duran was identified by Quintana during an attempted murder investigation in Adams County in early 2018, and subsequently became a target of Gallegos, Quintana, and Rosales. On November 5th of the same year, Duran was lured, abducted, shot 10 times, and set on fire. Gallegos had contacted Duran on social media and met with Rosales and others at a Denver residence. They left together and Gallegos physically attacked Duran, imprisoning him in the backseat of a vehicle. Later, they met Quintana at a parking lot where he joined in the physical attack. The authorities drove to a secluded spot at 7th and Nile in Golden, where Quintana and Gallegos shot the victim 10 times. Later, Gallegos and Rosales returned to pour gasoline on his body and set it on fire. Gallegos has 6 felony convictions and has had his parole or probation revoked 8 times. Judge Philip McNutty, who sentenced Gallegos, expressed shock at the indifference to human life displayed in the crime. He said that it was a terrible crime and that Gallegos would spend the rest of his life in prison because he could no longer live among the general population. Number 3. Gang of 3. After 2 days of deliberation, a jury found Kenneth Hill, Jamar Robinson, and Darius Diaz-Gaskin guilty of first-degree armed robbery, felony firearm possession, and conspiracy in the slaying of a Clinton Township party store owner. This heinous crime was committed in cold blood, and as I speak to you now, I must say that you are an absolute disgrace to humanity. You will spend the rest of your life reflecting on the terrible decisions you've made, with the blood of a loving father, husband, son, and brother on your hands. Hill, Robinson, and Diaz-Gaskin all face life imprisonment without parole, while a 4th man, Clinton Grayson, has already been sentenced to life imprisonment without parole on charges of first-degree felony, slaying, and others. The Moonlight Party Store's video footage revealed that Diaz-Gaskin, Robinson, and Grayson entered the store on Harper around 11 p.m. on March 28, 2014. Within 1 minute and 44 seconds, Basim Sulaka, the store's owner, was shot in the back with Diaz's Gaskin's 9mm handgun. Sulaka's sister, Vivian Sulaka, mentioned that he was a non-violent person who never kept a gun at the store or installed thick plexiglass. Diaz Gaskin's defense lawyer, Richard Glanda, argued that his client mistakenly thought that the gun safety was on. However, a jury found all three guilty, and they received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. The speaker expresses disgust at the idea of insulting and threatening the victim's family, and emphasizes that they were not the intended recipients of the statement. The speaker accuses Adam of directing his comments at the victim's family and expresses a desire to increase the culprit sentence if possible. Number 2. Carpio brothers. In 2013, two teenage brothers were found guilty of their involvement in the fatal stabbing of Kevin Orellana, an 18-year-old student at Cleveland High School in Reseda. Anthony Carpio, who was 18 at the time, received a sentence of 16 years to life, while his older brother Michael Stephen Carpio, who was 20, was sentenced to 15 years to life. According to LA County Deputy District Attorney Scott Marcus, both brothers were affiliated with a street gang. Although Orellana was not a member of the gang, he was a victim of second-degree murder. During their sentencing, the Carpio brothers remained expressionless in the Van Nuys courtroom as Judge Martin Herskowitz announced their punishment. Marcus also read a victim impact statement written by Orellana's family, who expressed their devastation over the loss of their loved one and the fact that they will never be able to experience important milestones with him, such as weddings, promotions, or grandchildren. Number 1. George Gowell Thomas. George Gowell Thomas, a gang leader who directed various crimes from his prison cell, has been sentenced to life imprisonment for orchestrating murders and other offenses. The trial, which lasted a long time and involved 16 others, took place in the Western Cape High Court. 6 other gang members have also been given life sentences. All the defendants were prosecuted under the Prevention of Organized Crime Act for crimes that occurred between 2006 and 2010, including murder, conspiracy to murder, and racketeering. For the offenses he planned between 2006 and 2010, Thomas will serve 7 life sentences concurrently. Judge Chantel Fortune stated that Thomas and his henchmen, who demonstrated no remorse, deliberately and willingly carried out killings to instill terror in the community. Being brutally honest, the speaker admits that if they could go back and change things in their life, they wouldn't be in the position they are now. The National Prosecuting Authority celebrates a victory in the battle against organized crime as the correctional services investigate how Thomas was able to orchestrate various crimes while behind bars. Thomas made over 30,000 phone calls and planned the murders of numerous individuals, including potential state witnesses while in prison. Judge Fortune sentenced him to life, taking into account his violent nature and his terrorizing of correctional service officers during the trial. As we come to the end of the video, it's hard to deny the reality of the consequences that come with gang activity. These 5 hunted gang members are now facing life sentences for their crimes, and it's a reminder of how quickly a life can be taken away, and how important it is to make the right choices. It's our hope that by sharing these stories, we can raise awareness and encourage people to stay away from gangs and the violence that comes with them. We hope you found this video both informative and thought-provoking. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below for more content like this. See you in the next one.